So Mimo, would you call this a restaurant?
Actually, the name is called a tablao. Tabla is a wood plank, and tablao is the stage made of wood planks. By tradition, tablaos are places where you drink and you eat. Tablao is the place where traditionally you see flamenco in Spain. Flamenco comes from the south of Spain. It's a mixture of influences from gypsies, from Arab, because in the south of Spain there were for many years a mixture of Moors and Spanish, and they lived together. So in their tradition, the way of singing, the way of doing things, came their music. When you cry, your sadness, it comes out as music. It's like the soul in America.
Yeah.
And then, depending on the area and where it comes from, is a different rhythm and a different mood.
Wow.
The rhythm defines, I think, the style, and the style defines the dance. But it's originally music.
You feel it physically when they're hitting the wood, but you definitely, it feels like expression. Like, I mean, they're dancing.
It is. I think it's a personal expression
that.
of the collective memory.
Tell me more about Carmen.
Carmen Amaya was a gypsy girl who was born in Barcelona, in a place that at the time was very poor. It was a slum. Her father was a guitarist. He played in bars, making a living, late at night, just going to little taverns. She always went with him, and she was completely self-taught. She became known, recognized as a good dancer, invited to dance in theaters very early age. This is why we named this place Tablao de Carmen, because she did perform in a little courtyard we have at the back.
Wow.
With her family for the inauguration of the Spanish village in 1929. And then she was invited to perform in Paris. From Paris, because the civil war started in Spain, and instead of coming into a war country, they went to Portugal and they sailed immediately to Buenos Aires, where they had a contract. And there they sailed again to New York. With a great success in Carnegie Hall, she made movies there. She was invited to dance in the White House by President Roosevelt. They flew her, actually. In a little plane, they picked her up in New York, they flew her to Washington.
Wow.
She played in the embassies. She met Marlon Brando, Fred Astaire, Picasso, Orson Welles, Greta Garbo.
No way.
Yeah. She led a company of 40 people at some point, traveling all over America and South America.
Wow.
Always with her family. They didn't even know how to write. But they knew how to dance, how to make money, how to be happy.
Wow, I mean, what an incredible story.
Yeah, she was one of a kind.
So, did your grandmother help? How does she come into this?
Carmen Amaya got married very late. She was leading the company and the whole family, but suddenly, one non-gypsy guitarist arrived to the company called Juan Antonio Agüero, and they married within weeks.
Whoa.
And she wanted to come back to Barcelona to get married. So they did, and they married in Barcelona. And they bought a house in the northeast of Barcelona, in the Costa Brava. And when they landed there in '61, they met the locals. Among them, my mother's side of the family. And they all became very good friends. She had small kidneys, and they never grew. And at the time, dialysis didn't exist. And she passed away. Finally, my mother married Juan Antonio Agüero, Carmen's husband.
Wow, okay.
Widow. And my mother, independently from my dad, decided to make this place because she's from Barcelona and she loves flamenco. And they were very good friends, Carmen and my mother. They liked each other a lot.
Wow, and so you are keeping the tradition going. Yeah.
I was here at the very beginning I was in my 20s. Then I got married and left. I've been abroad 20 years, but I've been back 4 now. And now it's only my mother and I. So my mother is the cricket in my head that says how it has to be.
Wow.
People like it the way it is. I think you had an impression.
Definitely.
Good flamenco.
Yeah, I mean, it's an experience. What's happening with flamenco now? Where's it headed?
There are good academies of dance for flamenco. There is a super good school of music. You have the kids in the street learning how to dance. We invited them to perform here. They grow with the willingness to be on a stage like this, in a real tablao. There are 2 singers, 1 box, 1 guitar, and 2 dancers. And they do the most amazing performance you can imagine. High-class flamenco.
I'm just glad I got a chance to see it and see the creativity happening in this space. And keep it going.
Keep it going.
I think your mom's gonna make you, but yeah, it's fantastic. What a great man. Thanks for sharing that story. It's fantastic.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.